What's up y'all, Attacking Toucans here, and we're going to go over all the settings I chose for ZOOTR5 because I know some of y'all like to see the nitty gritty behind the scenes. Now I'm not going to go too in depth about the tracker, but if you guys want, let me know if you want me to make a video where I explain all of these settings in detail, but for now I'm just going to show you the settings that I chose. So for Forest, we're choosing Closed Deku, which means we're able to leave Kokiri Forest without beating the Deku Tree, but we can't get to the Great Deku Tree unless we have the vanilla requirements of having the Kokiri Sword and the Deku Shields. For Kakariko Gate, I am choosing Closed Gate, which means that we need to find the letter from Zelda in order to go up the Death Mountain the traditional way. We have Open Door of Time on, which allows us to go and turn into Adult Link from the very beginning. I like having this option on because it makes the randomizer feel way more open world and doesn't require us to completely get all the spiritual stones and do all the kid stuff. This is a cool option to have if you're looking for a way more linear experience that kind of follows along Ocarina of Time. For Zora's a Fountain, I'm having default behavior, which means we need to find Ruto's bottle in order to get past King Zora. Gerudo Fortress, we're going to have default behavior on, which means we have to find all 4 carpenters in order to allow us to get the Gerudo card. It just makes it very default. Dungeon boss shortcuts, we're going to have turned off. This just makes it a lot quicker to get through dungeons, which is great if you're streaming through a randomizer and trying to beat it quickly. But ZOOTR5 is supposed to be a painful experience for me, so we're going to keep this off, so I have to beat all the dungeons the long, arduous way. For Rainbow Bridge requirements, this is the Rainbow Bridge that allows us to get into Ganon's castle. We are going to require all 6 of the medallions. This is fairly close to the vanilla requirements of the game. And for the Ganon's trials, I'm requiring me to be all 6 of Ganon's trials. On to the next side, we have the world options. So we're going to start the game as a child. Master Quest dungeons, we're just going to keep that vanilla. Pre-completed dungeon mode. This allows you to have some dungeons that are barren from dungeon rewards. We're just going to turn that off. I'm not going to go into details on that, but we're going to have that off. Shuffle interior entrances. I'm going to keep all the entrance randomizers turned off. I'm just going to keep this as clean as possible because that is really confusing. But you can shuffle your interior entrances, grotto entrances, dungeon entrances. Well, this is the one entrance that I am going to be shuffling. This is for the boss fights. I have age restricted, which means all of the boss fights between adult and young Link are randomized. So I might go into the Forest Temple boss fight and it could be Volvagia from Fire Temple. But age restricted makes it so you don't have to fight adult Link bosses as young Link. Which might be fun to do in the future, but that seemed like a bit too much of a risk for this one. You can shuffle overworld entrances, the Gerudo Valley River exits, owl dropping locations, warp song destinations, and the spawn. We're going to keep all that off for now, just to keep it a bit more simplified, because that is a lot to hold in your head mentally. Triforce Hunt, we are having that turned off. There will be no Triforce pieces scattered throughout this randomizer. Bomb Chew Bag is a new option they added very recently. This makes it to where you can't pick up bomb chews until you find what's called the Bomb Chew Bag, which is like the bomb bag, but it holds bomb chews. This is dungeons have one major item. This disperses the major items of the game to make it so where every dungeon will have at least one major item. I'm gonna turn that off because I want their items to be as random as possible. Shuffle songs. The songs are going to be located anywhere. If you do song locations, this makes it to where songs will only be located where you normally find songs, but we're gonna put them anywhere. So who knows where we might find them. Shop Sanity, we're going to have this at 4 items per shop. All the left-hand items of every shop will be random, and Shop Sanity prices will also be random, meaning some of the items might be very expensive. Token sanity, we are having all 100 gold skull to the tokens randomized for extra chaos. We're about to get to all the really crazy settings. We have scrub sanity on with random prices. So these bitches might get kind of expensive, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Shuffle child trade sequence items. This adds all of the masks and items from the kid trading side quest on. This is a newer setting, I believe. So we might just be finding random masks in the randomizer. And another new option is shuffle all adult trade items. So this is related to the big Goron trading side quest, but this makes it to where you do the trading side quest a little bit out of order, and the rewards for certain things in the trading side quest could be just regular items instead of other trading side quest items. It makes the trading side quest a lot more fun for the randomizer for sure. Now here's some of the craziest options we're choosing. We're having all rupees and hearts added. This is all freestanding rupees and recovery hearts that are just out sitting in the open. This adds a lot of different locations. Along with this next one, shuffle all pots. I am very excited for this one because it will have us going into almost every single square inch of the overworld, as every house has at least a pot or a crate, which is the next option. So all pots and crates that hold random rupees will now be mixed in. We have cow sanity turned on, so all 9 cows will be mixed. We have beehive sanity, which there are 32 beehives in the game. Hopefully the bees don't get mad at us for that one. We're gonna shuffle the Kokiri sword, the ocarinas, the Gerudo card, the magic beans, the expensive merchants, which are the Giant's Knife, Goron, and Goron City, and the Haunted Wasteland Carpet Salesman. We're gonna shuffle Frog Song rupees, which means all 5 purple rupees from the song minigame in Zora's River will be random. Now you can now shuffle the Hylian Loach reward, but this is something I didn't really want to turn on because I don't know too much about the Hylian Loach. You can turn on easier behavior, which shuffles the Loach reward, but also modifies some behavior in order to make the Loach easier to catch. But I'm gonna turn that off for now just because I'm kind of unfamiliar with that. And here's another wild option we're turning on. Shuffle individual ocarina notes, which enabling this locks all ocarina inputs and adds 5 new items to the mix that each unlock one of the 5 ocarina notes. So that means we might find the ocarina, but we can't actually play the ocarina until we find the A button, C up, down, left, and right. I'm excited for this one. Now to dungeon items, maps and compasses are going to be anywhere in the overworld. Small keys, anywhere with key sanity. Thieves' hideout keys will be anywhere. Treasure chest game. This is the treasure chest game you play in the Hyrule Market that you can usually cheese with the Lens of Truth. This is now randomized, and the keys for that mini game can be found anywhere. We're gonna turn key rings off, which means all of the keys of one dungeon get lumped into one key ring, turning the keys of a dungeon into one item. That simplifies things, and ZOOTR5 is supposed to be anything but simple. Boss keys can be found anywhere with key sanity, along with Ganon's boss key. Then we have this option, which might be one of the other craziest options we're having for ZOOTR5. This is the Shuffle Silver Rupee mode, which means silver rupees can be found anywhere. The silver rupees can now be found anywhere in the game, and some of the doors will not be openable until you find those 5 random silver rupees. Then there's the silver rupee pouches, which we will be turning off. This makes it to where all 5 silver rupees for a puzzle are found in one go as one item, but now we're trying to keep this chaotic, so that's gonna be off. Next, for detailed logic, we're not enabling any tricks because I am not a speedrunner, and we're not going to exclude any locations. Everything is fair game on this randomizer. We're starting our randomizer with nothing in the inventory. Now for other. Now for this randomizer, I wanted to keep things a bit more true to the real game because this is supposed to feel like a very, very complete Ocarina of Time randomizer experience. So I am not going to turn on some of these time savers. So I will have to do the tower escape sequence. We're going to do the child stealth section as young Link going to Zelda. We're going to race Ingo to get Epona. We're not going to skip some minigame phases. We're going to race Dampé twice and get both rewards from Gerudo Horseback Archery. There will be no completed mask quests. We'll have to do that normally, which will be fine because all the items are going to be randomized for that. Enable specific glitch useful cutscenes. I'm not glitching, so that doesn't matter. We will keep fast chest cutscenes, so chests will be quicker for us. No free Scarecrow song. We're gonna have to find that thing by talking to the Scarecrow. I love this option right here. Fast Bunny Hood. This means once we find the Bunny Hood, we'll be able to run at 1.5 times speed like the Bunny Hood does in Majora's Mask. Great quality of life improvement. Maintain mask equips through some scene changes. I didn't know much about this, I just turned it off. Plant magic beans. Now we'll plant our own magic beans. We are going to randomize the cuckoo count that is used for finding and juice chickens. So we might have to find 7 chickens or 1 chicken. We'll find out. And same for the big Poe target quests. We might have to find 10 big Poes, maybe 1. I'm praying we only have to find 1 because this is a really hard side quest. Here's some other quality of life improvements. Easier fire arrows allows for you to get into Shadow Temple with fire arrows, which allows you to reduce the number of torches that need to be lit. We're just gonna make it so where we need Din's fire to get into Shadow Temple. And this has Ruto already on floor 1 of Jabu Jabu. That doesn't really matter. We're gonna have to go through the whole thing anyway, so might as well have that vanilla. Now up to miscellaneous options. Randomized ocarina melodies. I'm turning this off. What this does is causes the notes of each song to be randomized. So, Zelda's Lullaby is left, up, right, left, up, right. That might be randomized to down, right, up, which can be a trolly option, but I think for this randomizer, I'm not going to turn that on because I think I'm not turning on annoying features. I want this randomizer to be really cool and not annoying. It's going to be difficult, but I don't want it to be annoying, if that makes sense. And I think that's kind of a annoying feature. Chest appearance matches contents. This makes it to where if there's a major item in a chest, the chest will be bigger and fancier looking. But I'm going to turn that off. I don't want spoilers. I want each chest to be open to be a complete surprise. Invisible chests. I don't really know what this feature is. It says chests will only be visible with the lens of truth. Lens is not logically required for normally visible chests. I don't even know what that is. That sounds crazy to me. Next is pot crate and beehive appearance matches content. We're going to turn that off, but this makes pot crate and beehive sanity easier. I don't want it easier. We're just gonna hit and break every single pot crate and beehive and hope for the best. Here's some new custom models that are really cool that I'm turning on. This has small keys and boss keys match their dungeon. So all the spirit temple keys will be orange, all of the water temple keys will be blue. It just kind of makes the model, we'll know where the key belongs to before we pick it up, which I think is a cool visual upgrade. I have clearer hints turned on, although I'm not really planning to read any of the hints because we're going to be trying to go to every single location and check in the game anyways. So we'll just go ahead and skip over the hint options. Text shuffle, we will not turn on. This just randomizes all the text boxes of all the NPCs and characters that you talk to in the game, which sometimes leads to funny moments, but I think this is more of an annoying feature, so we're not going to have it on for this one. Damage multiplier, I'm just going to keep normal for this series. I don't think that's necessary. And bonks do damage, we're also going to turn that off. Hero mode is off, which is where no recovery hearts drop from enemies or objects. Nah, I'm not trying to make it annoying. These are some annoying features. Starting time of day will be default. Here's an option I'm turning on, which is a cool quality of life option that makes ice arrows useful by allowing you to melt red ice with blue fire arrows. And normally, like I said, they don't do anything, so turning this on makes them actually useful, which I think is super cool. This fixes a glitch with the game. I'm just turning this on just to avoid whatever that might be. Now for the item pool will be balanced, which means it's just like the original item pool of the game. If you turn this to plentiful or ludicrous, it will add multiple of S tier items, like it adds multiple hook shots and bomb bags and stuff to the game to make it easier. And if you turn it minimal, it takes away multiple options, such as, you know how the fairy bow has 3 upgrades, and all of those will allow you to find the fairy bow and then the upgrade subsequently. We're just gonna have this balance to make it just normal. Ice traps, we're gonna have extra ice traps, which turns junk items into ice traps. And then ice trap appearance. This is as major items only, which means sometimes we might see a hook shot and we pick it up and it ends up being a troll ice trap, which is hilarious. I think it's funny to get my hopes up only to be frozen by ice. Now that's all the main rules. We got through them. Took a minute, but we did it. Next, let's move to cosmetics. So I chose to keep the cosmetics pretty default because since this is going to be such a long randomizer, I didn't want anything too visually distracting. I wanted us just to focus on the randomizer and the game for this. So I kept everything pretty default. We do have random colors for all 3 tunics. We're keeping the gauntlets and mirror shield the same. I'm keeping everything on the UI the same, so the heart color will be red, magic will be green. The buttons on screen will be the default colors. I'm keeping Navi and the sword and all of that stuff default. And then player models, we're just going to be playing as Link. I'm not going to be choosing any custom player models for this playthrough. Even though I do love doing that, I think for this one I'm trying to keep the game pretty clean looking. That's the goal. And last is sound effects, which I'm keeping fairly default as well because some of these options can be annoying. Background music is going to be normal. Fanfares will be normal. All the item sounds will be normal. The only sound effects I am randomizing are the low HP sound effect. So instead of the beep, we're going to have a random ear safe sound effect. And then just for fun, I turned the daybreak and nightfall sound into re-dead moans because everybody loves a good moan every once in a while. And that is the settings for ZOOTR5. This is insane. Like I said, some of these things like pot sanity, rupee and heart sanity, crate sanity, beehive sanity, silver rupee sanity, the individual ocarina notes, these are all crazy options that I am really excited to test out. Anyways, if you guys want to tell me anything about the settings down in the comment section or want me to choose any specific settings for a ZOOTR in the future, let me know and I'll read that and have that taken into consideration whenever we do a ZOOTR in the future. But this is what we're rocking with ZOOTR5. If you want to watch ZOOTR5, then click on this video on the time card, or I'll put a link in the description. Take it easy, guys, and keep staying random.